Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's Success Masterclass. We are going to be doing some power-packed stuff here, and I guarantee you, you will get some insights and learn some things that you have never heard before. So, as you just heard, it is being recorded, and I ask you to please hold all questions until the end. Make a note of it. Make sure that you have a notebook, pen handy, and you jot those down as we're going through. Once I get to the end of the presentation, I will stop the recording and then we can do some Q&A and I'll bring you up on screen. And let's have some fun, okay? Let's definitely have some fun here. All right, so I ask you to just come with an open mind and be willing to receive. And we'll get to intention here in a moment, but first, I would like to start off with a little story. Here we are. This is one of my favorite quotes. When we take a time within, everyone wins. Raising a generation of brave thinkers. Now, what do I mean when I say take a time within? We will get to that. But first, let's dive into our story before we get to the 3 keys to achieving success and living an extraordinary life. Okay, so this story, like I said, just happened the other day. That's our pet bunny, Cannoli. She's our little pet bunny, and my daughter was out in the backyard with her, and I was inside. I was doing some things, and my daughter had to come in, and she needed to go to the restroom real quick, and she thought, well, you can see we've got a privacy fence. Our yard is fenced, and Cannoli, she's used to going in the backyard. I mean, we keep her inside mostly, but we do take her in the backyard from time to time, and she's good about it. She hops around, but we can kind of leave her unattended, and she's not going to like try to dig out or anything, because she really is an indoor bunny. So anyway, my daughter went inside, and I'm moving around, and I look out the window, and I see her, and I've kind of got my eye on her, and then I look out again, and I see her, and her ears are pricked up and she's looking at something. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And then she came to full alert. And I was like, what and I turned my head, and there in the yard is a fox. Now you could see the sun was starting to go down, but I mean, the foxes, we do live in an area where foxes are, but I was totally not expecting this. And my heart starts pounding, and I'm like, oh, I'm calling to my daughter, you got to get outside. And she's like, I'm in the bathroom. And all of this is happening. I mean, it happened in a flash. Okay. This happened within seconds, literally within seconds. But I got my eyes on Cannoli, and I could see the fox, and the fox is already starting to move towards her. And she's just sitting there. Like, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, surely she realizes this is dangerous. And I'm expecting her to just start running at any second. And my daughter, I'm hollering at her and saying, hurry, hurry, there's a fox. And she's like, what? And I know she's close to the door. I'm like on the other side. I'm far from the door. She could definitely get out there faster. And if she just got to the door, probably the sound would scare the fox, hopefully. I didn't know. And I'm doing all of this, and I'm thinking, oh, I should start banging on the window or something, or open it and holler. And the fox is moving closer and closer, and it starts kind of running towards her. Now, Cannoli, you see her. She sits back. She kind of raises up on, she raised up her little forepaws. And I was watching her, and I'm thinking she's about to like dart around, and she kind of opens her little tiny mouth. And then I see her belly kind of swell like a big balloon, like she's taking this big, deep breath of air. And then all of a sudden, she went, rah, 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 rah. And the fox, like in mid-stride, almost to her within feet, it veered off and it jumped over the fence and disappeared. And my jaw dropped, and Cannoli just settled back down, and then she just turned her head and started licking her fur like nothing had ever happened. Now, at this point, my daughter had made it out of the bathroom, and she was actually at the door, and she looks out and she says, Mom, there's no fox. What's going on? It Cannoli looks perfectly fine. And I walk over and I say, oh my gosh, And I briefly tell her what happened, and she's staring at me with this wide-eyed, incredible expression on her face. And I say, so let that be a lesson to you. Never underestimate the power of learning more than one language. Okay, so I assure all of you, no animals were injured in this story. Okay, and actually, yes, that is our pet bunny. That is our backyard. Everything about that was true, except no, my daughter would never leave Cannoli alone in the backyard. And we do have foxes that come around, but it's highly unlikely they would ever come into the backyard in this time of the day when it's light out. But we definitely don't leave her out there alone because it could be a threat. I love highlighting this story because of that very profound message, right? Language is powerful. The words you use can change your life. And this is a fact. And what we are learning today is the new language of success, because there is a language for success. Now, before we get into that, I'd like to point out another very important point of this story. What did Cannoli the bunny do right before she expressed the action, right? She did the action of using that powerful language. She took a deep breath. She paused. She didn't start running around frantically. She didn't run away from the threat, the danger, the challenge, her fear, right? She faced it. She faced it head on. She faced the challenge, the fear. She took a deep breath. Just that little second, that pause, to allow her mind, to settle her body and to allow her mind just that second to decide, what can I do here? What can I do here that is empowering, that's going to be helpful, right? Not just reacting out of fear and doubt, but no, taking that split second, the deep breath calms the body. It sends a powerful signal, right? When we take a deep breath in, we'll do this in a second. And then when you exhale for longer than you inhale, that is the key. You have to exhale longer than you inhale. And that has been scientifically proven, thank you, Dr. Libby Weaver, to instantly calm the body. And it sends a powerful signal to your mind that you are safe. So it takes you out of that stress response mode and into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, digest, create. And so by doing that, she gave herself just that split second to think, what can I do? And out came the powerful language that changed the course of the next moment, the course of her life, right? And this is what's key for all of us. In the moment, if you can just stop for a second, take a deep breath, and then you ask yourself an empowering question. What can I do with what I have from where I am right now? And it's amazing how quickly our minds work. But we have to drop into our heart first, because our mind is a powerful tool, but it is subservient to our heart. Our heart is the center of our soul. So let's get into this. The language of success. Now, I'd like to invite all of you to right now, let's take a deep breath. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose from the lower belly. We're going to take a breath in for a count of 6. We're going to hold it at the top for a count of 6. Then we're going to exhale through the mouth for a count of 7. Okay? We'll do this twice. All right. So breathing in, lower belly, in through the nose, in. Hold it. Exhale. And in. Hold it. Exhale. And now I would like to invite you to just jot down, what is your intention for this masterclass here today? And you can put it in the chat if you would like. My intention here is to serve you with powerful transformational tools to help you achieve your goals and dreams and decide on what those are, the next best steps, if that's where you're at, but to help you move forward in life in a way that is aligned, in flow, and with more freedom and fun. Now we move on. So, who here has a dream, right? Is there any area of your life that you'd like to improve? That's everybody, right? I mean, sure, if you're alive, if you're breathing, you've got desires and longings and discontents, right? So what we're going to talk about is 3 tools to help you achieve those goals and dreams. Help you get greater clarity on what your goals and dreams are and feel even more confident in your ability to achieve those goals and dreams. That is my intention for this workshop here today. And I'm hoping your intention is to be open to receiving, and not just from what you're hearing, but attending a masterclass like this is so powerful because you will hear things that will spark and inspire new insights, new interests. And that could be the next beautiful step that you need to move towards your goals and dreams and get you past stuckness. So, have you ever achieved a goal or a dream that, you know what, let me minimize this. Okay, there we go. Have you ever achieved a goal or a dream that when you first had that goal, you had no idea how in the world you could ever achieve it, and yet you did it anyway? Right? I mean, we've all had that. I know riding a bike, certain job, right? Did you ever think, oh, I could never do that? I could never be this, that, or the other. And then you got it. I thought I'd given up. I had a childhood dream of being an author. I used to write poetry. I sent in a poem one time to a publishing company and I got this letter. And I was pretty young. I don't know, I was probably 10 or so. And I was really nervous about it. I opened it up and it's like one of those form letters and it told me I needed an SASE. And I'm thinking, what is a SASE? SASE? I had no idea. And I was so embarrassed. And all I knew from that letter was that it looked like they hadn't accepted it. And I was, my spirit was crushed and all of that. But I never told anybody about it. I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't show it to them. I was too embarrassed. Just, being a kid, right? And it wasn't until literally decades later, when I was an adult, at one point, I realized I saw it somewhere. And SASE just means a self-addressed stamped envelope. I needed to send my submission in with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I didn't because I was a kid and I was too shy to ask. So always speak up. It is true. There is no dumb question, even if it does sound dumb at the time. But it's better to ask and know than to sit and never know. So I went through my whole life thinking, well, I'm just not meant to be a writer or an author. But I am now, and we'll get to that soon. So moving along, the point is, when you have a goal or a dream that you think at first you cannot achieve, but you did it anyway, you are capable of far more than you know. Just like this little guy. I like that little graphic. It's cute. All right. So the thing is, our goals and dreams are born out of the challenges we face, okay? And they're typically born out of 2 energies. These challenges are actually catalysts for growth within us. Without challenges, think about it. If everything in your life went smoothly and everything was just roses, I mean, we don't watch movies about things, everything going right. There's got to be, I hate to say it, but drama. It's not drama, it's challenges. Something that you would like to improve or something that you would prefer to change. It's what makes life interesting. And actually, if we were to go through life teaching our children this very important point, that life is about growth and expansion. It's about noticing, it's about experiencing things, right? Because you have to experience something or get exposed either through books or movies or stories or other people's experiences or your own to know what you want more of and what you want less of, right? That's how we sift and sort and decide what we want and don't want. So challenges are there to help us grow and expand and become more. And it's so important to do that. So whether it is the pain of a problem or a burning desire for something more, these two energies are essential for, yes, are essential for creating new results in our lives. And these are two signals for growth. As I said, you've got to have this, your longings and discontents, pain of a problem, burning desire, something new to help you move forward. It gives you the fire to actually make a change. So this is another very important point. Now that you know this, now that you know that this is how life works, we are here to create, to experience challenges, and then to learn how to shift and sift through and then alter our thinking, our feeling, and our actions so that we move through those challenges in order to grow and expand and live and thrive, you know. Now that you know this, then you recognize and you can share it with your children that this is how life works. This is how we have fun in life. Learning how to go with these changes, right? When change comes up, you tell yourself, this is good news. Yes, change brings blessings. All change is good. What if you adopted that new belief? Think about it. And every time there is a change, you look at it with a positive, solution-oriented mindset. How is this going to be beneficial? What good is there in this, right? Because you know there is always going to be good and you're looking for it. That's the key. So let me tell you about a time when my longings and discontents had me in a tailspin. I will never forget the day. It was, oh my gosh, how long ago was this? It was a long time ago. We'll say more than almost 20 years ago, when I was leaving the university where at the time I was married and my husband was there studying. And we had just had a conversation not 20 minutes earlier that I had done some things and I was leaving, going home. And I was sitting in my car and all of a sudden my whole body started tingling. And I didn't know what was going on. And then my eyes narrowed and I spotted ahead of me my van. Like, it was the van that my parents had given to me for my husband to drive. So it was the van that my husband was driving. And I'm narrowing my eyes, and as the light turns, I start, zipping up there because I noticed that there was someone in the passenger seat. And the closer I got, I realized in the silhouette that the passenger had long hair. And so I zipped my way up. I mean, I was laser focused, and I got it right next to that van. And I look over and I rolled down the window and I hollered out. I think I honked or something. His window was cracked and I saw him with this muffin and he was just about to take a bite. And he stopped and he looked over at me. And then he looked to his right at the passenger. And I leaned forward and I looked over. And I could tell that it was a very, very young girl that I had never met before. And we motioned to move forward, pull off and talk. And so, yes, my husband had cheated on me. He was cheating with her. And apparently I found out later that was not the first time. This completely turned my world upside down. He was my first love, and we had been married for almost 10 years, but we had been together for longer than that, all through college. And to me, my commitment, my word is my truth, and I stick to it, and I don't change that. But here's the thing. I knew within the first 6 months of marrying him that I had made a mistake. But my pride and my belief system at that time wouldn't allow me to admit it. I didn't want to admit that I had maybe chosen the wrong spouse. And I didn't want to break what I believed was an inviolable agreement of, you marry someone, you commit to them. But I also used to tell him the only thing that would ever make me leave was if he cheated. And I now know, decades later, that I was seeding that in a strange way. So you think about that. What you focus on grows. So if you are speaking, this is why I say language is so powerful. If you are speaking something, be careful what you speak, because you are putting energy there. Whether you are saying you don't want it or you do want it, the mind does not distinguish negativity. It is still going to give you what you are focused on. So it took me another year, but I finally decided that I just couldn't. We went through marriage counseling, all this stuff. I couldn't live with that anymore. I could not live with him knowing that I could never trust him anymore. So I decided, finally, feeling scared and alone and not sure what I was going to do, I applied for a new job that would take me away from where I was living in another state, and I didn't know anyone there. And I decided to file for divorce. And let me tell you what, when I filed for divorce, it was like this force all around me, just pushing me, propelling me to the courthouse. And this voice in my head that just kept saying, file now, file now. And I literally filed, and within 30 days, that divorce was done, uncontested. It's probably one of the fastest divorces in history. But I felt so much more relief after having that, even though I was scared, even though I didn't know quite what I was going to do, and even though I had to move to another state by myself and didn't know anyone and start over. I made that decision knowing, because that pain of the problem was pushing me, but also my desire for something better, knowing that I am worthy of living a better life. And I'm worthy of living a life that I truly love and enjoy, and feeling my soul come alive with life. Because when I thought about staying in that relationship, my soul just would wither and die. I felt it in my heart. And this is why I say, go within and ask your heart. And so here I am today in this new place, and I now got inspired. And with my daughter, who is now 13, but when we wrote this together, she helped me, and together we wrote Which Would You Choose?, which teaches kids emotional intelligence, the same powerful languaging that we're learning here today. And she helped me use the scenarios. And then I also got inspired. This was just a couple years ago now. I got inspired to do a TEDx talk on the #1 tool every school needs to teach and every child needs to know. And it all comes down to brave thinking, choosing better thoughts, and learning that the #1 thing that you can do is take that time within. Take the deep breath, just like we did in the beginning, just like Cannoli did. Go within and then decide how you want to respond to life instead of reacting out of fear or pain. I also was featured on Fox, or it was NBC News in San Diego, doing a live interview about the book. So it was my first time on television. And I delivered at the International Global Women's Conference, the Women Empowerment Summit, this same workshop that you are here today watching. I also obviously became a certified, trained life transformation coach, which is why I'm here today teaching you these brave thinking principles. So how do we go from the pain of this problem, right, and being fearful, to creating new results in our lives? Now I would like to share with you the success formula. So you might be thinking you don't have a dream, or you don't know what your dream is right now, or you're not sure how to get it. And we will get to that. We're going to suspend the how for right now. But what I do want you to understand is most people all right, we're talking about results. Most people are living their lives by default, right? They're just reacting to whatever pops up in life. You know, if Cannoli in the beginning, if she had just started running around, if she hadn't stopped and taken a deep breath and used her powerful language, but if she had just started running around like a scared little rabbit, chances are she would have gotten caught and injured, if not worse, which, you know, nobody wants. But that is the point, right? When something happens, just take that split second to take that deep breath, drop into your heart, and ask that powerful question: what can I do right now from where I am? And then responding. And by default, I always think of that scene in the second Incredibles movie, right? Where Mr. Incredible, he's got the kids and his wife is off doing superhero stuff and he's at home and he's, you know, I'm fixing there. His daughter looks at him and says, "How do you do this, Daddy?" He's like, "How does he do it? I'm fixing the baby. I'm fixing the boyfriend. I'm doing the homework. I'm keeping the baby from turning into a wild monster and blowing up the house. And how does he do it? I'm rolling with the punches, baby." And that just cracks me up because this is how a lot of people live their lives, right? They spend more time planning a weekend getaway than they ever spend looking at their life and actually planning a life that they would truly love to live and designing their life. So we want to get out of default. We want to go into designing our lives. And here's the thing: highly successful people create their lives by design. And this means they set an intention, just like we did in the beginning, for what they would love, and then they go for it, and they go for it, and they go for it, one goal after another, because they are consciously choosing what they would like to create in their lives. They're designing their lives. And this is key. So the point is, how do we consciously create? And this brings us, well, before we get to the success formula, I keep saying that, to our health and well-being vocations. Okay, so there are four domains in which we are consciously creating results: health and well-being, love and relationships, our vocation, this is our job, or more how we share our gifts in the world, and time and money freedom. Okay, now you are getting results in each one of these areas right now, and the results that you're getting are simply what they are. There's no judgment here. They're not good or bad, they just are. But now that you are aware, and you're going to becoming more aware of what your results are in each of these four domains, you absolutely do have the power to change your life in each of these domains. And it starts with awareness. So we're going to expand our awareness together by studying the pattern that creates results in our lives. And we do call this the results formula. And I finally got to it. Okay, so this is how it goes. Everything is created twice, right? First in the mind, then in reality. Everything that you see around you was first a thought, right? The chair that you're sitting in, the house that you're in, this device, whatever device you have, somebody had to think of it first before it became physical, manifest in reality. They had to take steps to bring it about into physical reality. So your thoughts, your thought energy, and science is proving this. Your thought energy is powerful, and it's where everything starts. Everything starts first with a thought. So when you learn how powerful the words in your head that you say to yourself and that you think to yourself are, it changes everything. Your inner world is reflected in your outer world, not the other way around, right? Most people look at their outer world, they look at their circumstances, their situations, their conditions, and they call those their causes. It all starts here in the mind. It starts with your thoughts. Your thoughts produce feelings in the body. Now, these feelings are actually that thought energy in motion in the body, and this is why we call it emotions, right? The feelings, I need to add emotions in there, is E plus motion. It's energy and motion in the body, moving through the body, which then must be expressed out by our actions. And so that thought energy expressed through the emotions, which we label, is then expressed out through our actions, and our actions, of course, create our results. So to change anything out there in your world, you must first start with a thought. Change your inner world, and you change your outer world. And you know this because when you think a happy thought, right? You can think of what's the last time you took a vacation? Suddenly you start remembering that, you picture it, you bring it, the images are powerful, you bring it to mind, and instantly you could be transported there, right? You're at the beach, you're in the mountains, you're at the party, you're wherever it is that makes you feel joyful. And you feel that in your body. Or you're watching a scary movie and suddenly you're all tense and you're holding your breath and you're scared. But there's nothing chasing you. There's nothing going on around you. You're just focusing on something scary, but you're feeling it in your body. Why? Because that's where your focus is. That's what your mind is on. You see? So when you change your focus, you change your mind, you change those feelings, and then that changes the choices that you are aware of, and it changes the actions, the decisions that you make, and the choices that you see available to yourself, and then you act upon. So let us now recognize that you have to notice what you're noticing. Awareness is key first, because you can't change something that you're not aware of, right? This is why it's very important in our relationships. And this is why we have relationships, really. As one of the biggest reasons is our relationships are a reflection of something within us. Okay. So if you see something that you don't like or a behavior, you might want to ask yourself, where do I do that? Or where do I see that in me? And it could be it's a behavior that's being reflected to you that you don't do, but you're making sure that you definitely don't want that. You don't want to be focused on it and saying, no, I don't want that. No, no, no. We're going to choose the opposite. We're going to choose what I do want is harmonious relationships. I choose harmonious relationships. So we're going to make it positive. So we're going to use notice what you're noticing and the results formula, right? Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Notice what you're noticing. And now in those 4 domains of your life, we're going to do a quick life assessment. And I'd like you to consider amongst your health and well-being, vocation, love and relationships, and time and money freedom. What are the current results that you're getting? And then you're going to mark on a scale of 1 to 5, okay, where you are in each of those domains. But right now, ask yourself, are you a person who doesn't know what your dream is? You just know there's something more, or you got lots of dreams. You just don't know whether to pick one or create them all at once. So just make a note of which one feels true for you. And as we stated, you do have a dream. And like I said, if you don't know what that dream is, your dream right now might be in simple, I just want to make it through the next week because I got something going on at work or whatever. That's fine. But I want you to really drop into your heart. Take that deep breath. And we'll do this practice together here in a second. Take that deep breath, drop into your heart, and really ask yourself, what would I love? Okay. And then when you're looking at these, we're going to go through this life assessment first before we get to that. And ask yourself how fulfilled you are currently with your current results in each of these 4 domains. So in the health and well-being, on a scale of 1 to 5, I want you to just mark a 1 being you're not healthy or you're not fulfilled with your health at all, right? You feel like you need a total overhaul. Or a 5 meaning you're in perfect health. You can't get any better. Where do you fall on that scale? Okay, so you might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. Or maybe you do have pretty good health. You don't have any symptoms or, whatever the thing is, but you know there's more vibrancy or you could do better. And so just mark on a scale of 1 to 5 on that. Okay, so moving on to the next domain, love and relationships. So you might be a person who just longs to have that beautiful, deep, fun, passionate relationship with a partner who's the love of your life. Or maybe you already have that deep love, but you would love to expand and have more fun and aliveness in your current relationship. So just note on 1 to 5 where you fall in that domain. And again, these notes are just for you. This is for you to bring your awareness to each of these domains of your life. Because remember, you are now designing your life. This is the first step. It's becoming aware and noticing and using this results formula, right, to shift the thinking, to start focusing on the positive things that you want instead of trying to push against the negative things that you don't want. So we're moving away from push energy and we're moving towards attraction, full, positive energy and living in flow. So, what was that? Love and relationships. You might be a person. Wait. Sorry. No, the next one is vocation. I think I skipped one. So, in the vocation, you might be a person who feels stuck in a job that you don't like, or maybe you like your work, but you work too many hours and you would just love more time freedom. Okay, so that's for vocation. And just note 1 to 5 where you are with that. And in the final domain, time and money freedom. Now, I love this one especially. You might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time. And either way, you would just love to be more in harmony. And I like to say, who wouldn't love more money, more time for that matter? Love that. So what I'd like you to do is, and I invite you to reflect upon the scores that you gave yourself in each of these 4 domains of your life. And again, there's no judgment here. Your results are simply what they are at this point. We're just bringing our awareness to it. And now you're going to be noticing what you would love more of and what you would love less of and what you would like to improve. And for this next exercise, just pick one of these domains. It might be the domain that you score the lowest in, or just pick one that you would like to focus on right now for today, because we're going to go through a powerful exercise to help you shift your results. Okay, and again, these are the 4 domains that we're looking at. Now note, there's a lot of, they dovetail a lot, right? Like a cost in one area could lead to a cost in another area of your life. And the opposite is also true. An improvement in one area of your life often leads to an improvement in other areas of your life. And this brings us to the first key to mastering your results and achieving success. And that is designing your dream. Yes, designing your dream. Now, I invite you to think of it like this. When you want to build a house, you see this blueprint here, right? You have to design a very good blueprint, right? You can't just say, I'd like a house with 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Well, if that's all you say, that could go a lot of different ways, right? I mean, it could be teeny tiny, it could be huge, it could be all kinds of different ways that would not be what you, quote, had in mind, but you weren't specific enough. So you have to design the blueprint. You have to get down in the nitty gritty. Now, in the beginning, you may not know the nitty gritty, but you may know a few key things. You may know that you want so many rooms and you want the bathrooms to be like attached, or you want this and that, and you want certain tile and certain color. You see what I mean? You get as specific as you feel in the moment that lights you up on the things that make you feel joy and the things that you would love. That's where you add the specificity. And over time, you can add more specifics to it. But you do have to be specific, because just like when you are, I like to think of the analogy of an archer, the bow and arrow. When you're aiming at that target, if you can't see the target, what are your chances of hitting it? Probably nothing, right? But what if you can kind of see it, but it's a little fuzzy? Well, still probably hard for you to hit the bullseye, okay? But what if you can see that target with laser clarity, crystal clarity, right? You could see the bullseye with crystal clarity. Your chances of hitting that bullseye go way up. And then what if you had a laser sight, right? You had that laser sight. You could put it right on the bullseye. You think then you would hit your bullseye? It would be hard not to. That's what we're talking about here. Getting clear. And this is powerful, and you may want to write this down. Clarity is power. Now, again, if you haven't been thinking about what your dream is for a while, or you're not sure what it is, just suspend just put the details in, or the feelings, right? It could just be the feelings that you want. that make you feel good right now. Don't try to force it. As you work with it, as you develop, think of it like dancing or dating. You're developing a relationship with your dream, because your dream is actually going to be your future self. So you're developing this relationship, and over time, it's going to get stronger. It's going to get clearer. It's going to have more power and detail. All right. So moving along. So we're turning up the focus on this. And like I said in the beginning, we take that deep breath, we drop into our heart, and then we're going to ask ourselves a powerful question. What would you love? Okay. So this brings us to the second key, which we're about to touch on. You're going to ask your heart. Your heart is the center of your soul. What would I love? Okay. Because as Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. And so you keep asking yourself this. You keep asking yourself, what would I love? And you listen to your heart. And in the beginning, just like when you're priming a pump, you might not hear anything. You might not get any water out of that, that well, right? I know it's an old analogy, but it works, right? The old wells, if they had like a little hand pump that you could pump to get the water up from the bottom, if it hasn't been used in a while, nothing comes out at first. But you got to keep pumping. So you got to keep asking the question, what would I love? What would I love? To get your creative juices flowing, to get your connection with your intuition and your heart aligned and moving. But then as you continue working with this, and just like with that pump, something will start to come out. You'll get a little spit of water. You'll get a little dark water, a little brackish water. Over time, though, eventually you get a really strong flow of crystal clear, fresh water coming out. And it is flowing, baby. Because when you start on this and you start to cultivate that relationship with your vision and with your intuition, and really connecting in with your heart through taking the my time with him, this is powerful. This forms the habit, and this is what gives you the momentum and gets you flowing until every day you're in that state of flow. So let's do this powerful exercise. Remember that one domain that you decided to focus on. Either it was love and relationships, time and money freedom, vocation, or your health and well-being. We're going to do this powerful exercise here, time machine. We are going to imagine there's the DeLorean, right, from Back to the Future. We're going to imagine, not going backwards though, we're going forwards into the future, 3 years, and we are going to imagine that you have a magic wand, and you can wave this wand and it all works out. Everything that you have ever desired is worked out in this domain or in all domains of your life, okay? So when we do this, we're going to turn around counterclockwise in 3 circles. And then I invite you to sit down with your, take a moment and just check in, take that deep breath, and we'll do that together. Check in with your heart and ask, what would I love in this domain? And then I will give you a powerful phrase to start off writing, and you're going to write in the present tense using this powerful phrase. And you're going to write exactly, imagining you are there, you are in this moment 3 years from now, and you're saying and you're writing down exactly what your life looks like, because it's all worked out. So, and I'll give you a full minute for that. All right, so let's get started. We're going to do the time machine. All right, turning around. 1, 2, 3. Just one turn, and now, bam, it's 3 years from now. You're asking yourself, what would I love? So take a deep breath in from the base of your spine, your lower belly, and then slowly exhale, as if blowing out birthday candles through your mouth. And then you can take another deep breath in and hold it, and then exhale. And ask yourself in your heart, bring your awareness to your heart, what would I love? And when you're ready, go ahead and write down on a piece of paper again, you are there. You are right now, 3 years from now, living your best life. And you're going to write down, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then go ahead and pour the details for your vision into that and make it positive and present tense. I am so happy and grateful now that I am in the best shape of my life. I'm traveling, I'm, in the relationship, whatever it is, keep it positive and present tense, and go ahead and I will play a little bit of sound for you and you get a full minute. Go. Tree of life here. Okay. And you can end your blueprint, and you can always come back to this later to add more details to it, but end it with this powerful phrase, this or something even better still. Now, this phrase is a powerful, powerful signal to the universe that you are open and receptive and willing to receive this dream that you have just designed or something even better still, because we don't know what else might be out there, right? But you want to be open to receiving that. Now, I invite you to go back later, and you can rewatch this later as well, and do this for each domain in your life. Do it for each domain, write out your dream, and as you come up with more powerful details, add them in, rewrite your dream, and keep rewriting it. And the more that you read it and you cultivate this relationship with your dream, the more it becomes real. You are actually programming your mind. You're signaling to your mind that this is important to you. That's number one. You're giving your mind instructions, directions, just like a target. And you're also impressing upon your mind that you're not giving up, that you're going to keep going for this dream. And you keep pouring more details in it, and you keep imagining and envisioning yourself there. Okay, so congratulations. You have just designed your dream, and that is the first step towards creating your life by design. Okay, so this is writing. You're taking that thought energy again out of your head and putting it down on paper. It is the first tangible, physical evidence of that thought energy that you have just put down through the action of writing it on paper. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people know this to be true. I've seen it in my life. Kathleen Cameron says it all the time. What you write down does become true. As long as you don't negate it, as long as you don't continue to say, oh, but I'll never get that. None of that. You write it down, you envision it, you focus on it, and you start taking steps towards it. And that's how it happens. And then you start to bring your dream into your reality. Okay, so key number 2 is deciding for your dream. Now, this is very important. Okay, so in order to master our results, we have to learn how to make empowered decisions, right? In fact, it has been proven that highly successful people are willing to decide for what they would love, even in the absence of knowing how to bring it about, right? So I love the story of when JFK said, I'm going to put a man on the moon, right? America's going to put someone on the moon. And he went to the scientists, and what did he ask? What did he ask them? Did he say, can we do it? Did he say, how are we going to do it? He went to the scientists and he said, what would it take? What would it take for us to put a man on the moon? And Wernher von Braun's response was the will to do it. JFK had already decided, it's done, we're doing it, okay? He'd already decided, made the decision. It was just a matter of, what's it going to take? What are we going to start doing, right? We're going to start taking steps. And it's the will. You make that powerful decision, and suddenly, just like in my story, right? Once I decided to get divorced, whoo, it was, I mean, I would have had to fight myself hard not to do it. But powerful forces come around, and you get insights and ideas and opportunities and things that you weren't aware of before. Just like when you start shopping for a new car, right? You decide you're going to go get a new car, and all of a sudden you start seeing that same make and model just popping up everywhere. I like red Teslas. Well, once I decided I liked a red Tesla, oh my gosh, every time I walk out that door, I'm serious, I see a red Tesla. I mean, it's like today, even this morning, I went for a run, and when I came back from my run in the parking lot, there, right, not far from my car, somebody was parked in a red Tesla. What are the odds? I mean, of all the cars in the world, right, and all the colors, that exact car that I like, because I focus on it and I celebrate every time I see one. It just brings me joy. So that's what I'm saying. What you focus on grows energy. You're putting energy there, and it's going to grow, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. So deciding for new results, the will to do it. Okay. So when you decide, you look at where you are now, and you look at what you would love, and you just focus on that. And in the middle, we suspend the how. Okay. We do not let that stop us. Number one, we don't let that stop us. And number two, we don't worry about it right now because it's not important. What's important is you make a decision. Just like if you're going to go to the store, I'm going to the store. I'm going to plan which route I'm going to take, but I don't know what's going to happen on the way. I don't know if there's going to be accidents or some, crazy storm's going to happen, or somebody's going to call and I need to divert my route. No, I'm going to the store. I mean, it's a done deal. That's the kind of level of faith and, nonchalant knowing that you need to pour into what you would love for your dream. When you envision your dream and what you would love, that's the attitude you want to take. Is you just went to a restaurant, you placed an order, and the waiter or waitress walked away with it, and you're like, okay, I'm just waiting for it. I mean, not like you're going to sit there and not do anything, but that's the energy of, that you've placed the order, and it's a done deal, and it's going to be prepared, and it's going to come to you. And in the meantime, you're going to do the things that will make it happen faster, right? You're going to take some steps in that direction. And look, this brings us to key number 3. All right. Now, the tricky part. We talked in the beginning, right? Who here has achieved a goal that in the beginning you had no idea how you're going to achieve it, but you decided and you went for it anyway, not knowing the how? Well, what happens? Fear, right? All of a sudden, doubts and fears start popping up. This is the third key. How do we befriend our fear? When it starts saying, yeah, right, that ain't gonna happen, right? Oh my gosh. Who? You do that? Are you kidding me? Where are you gonna get the time? Where are you gonna get the money? All that stuff, right? All of these things are called paradigms. Now, here's the funny thing about paradigms. Paradigms are actually designed to keep us safe. Okay, because the mind, like I said, is a very powerful tool. It's designed to keep us safe and alive. It is not designed for us to take risk, go off into the unknown and adventure. It really isn't. It's a survival tool, mostly. But the thing is, just like with a standard computer, when you first get it, it has basic programs, but you can do things to it. You can enhance it. You can add new stuff. You can upgrade it. Our minds are the same way. When we learn how to work with our minds, how to use our minds, and how to direct our minds from our heart center, from our soul aligned self, right? from our dreams and you direct your mind and you give it instructions, that mind will fall right in and it will answer and it will bring you stuff that you need, right? So I like to say, these paradigms, it's like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Stop the complaint train, right? You need to tell your mind and those paradigms, I'm in the driver's seat, okay? You get in the back seat and zip it. I don't need any backseat drivers. I'm in control and I've already decided. So keep it zipped. We are going forward and I don't need you complaining. What I do need is for you to bring me good ideas for how to achieve this dream. But if you don't have that, then just get in the trunk, right? And you keep moving forward. And with action comes greater clarity. That's how this world, that's why we're in this physical world. We get greater clarity through doing our actions. All right. So refocusing your attention on your goal. This is how you start to overcome the fear. You stop it. You say, stop. I choose not that. Okay. We're not going down the fear spiral, the complaint train. We stop it and you choose the opposite. And you say, nope. I am choosing to refocus on my dream. This is where I'm going. This is my goal. Now, what can I do from where I am with what I have right now? And you just take the next step. And it could just be envisioning more of your dream. It could be pouring more details into your dream. It could be thinking, maybe I'm going to take this course because I know that's going to serve my dream. Or maybe I'm going to talk to this person because I know they might have some insights that will help me move towards that dream. And when your mind comes up with, what if I fail? Again, you just refocus on that dream and you say, heck yeah, I'm moving forward, right? Because just like as we all learned how to walk, great dream builders know that you're going to fall down and you get back up. You get back up again, right? We learn to walk by falling down. And the quote, failures is just us falling down and you just get back up. You don't let it define you. You don't let it stop you. And you certainly don't sit and dwell on it. You learn from it. You take the lesson, you course correct, you recalibrate, and you take another step and you keep moving on. So here's an example of a great, brave thinking dream builder. Charles Schultz, how many loan applications did he have to put in for his first coffee shop? It's rejected 242 times. I mean, I probably would have given up after the first, couple. Oh, I love this. Colonel Sanders recipe, the founder of KFC, for anybody who still knows what, Kentucky Fried Chicken is. This one will blow your mind. He was rejected 1,009 times. That tells you that's true commitment to a dream. And I love this one, Thomas Edison. Now, when Thomas Edison in the 1920s was asked by a journalist how it felt to fail 1,000 times in his attempt to invent the incandescent light bulb, you know what his response was? I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. Now, how's that for brave thinking? I mean, if everybody did that, if we taught our children that this is what it means when you fall off that bike or that skateboard or you fail that test, hey, you learned. It's a learning tool. Learn the lesson. Don't let it get you down. Just keep moving. Do a little more practice, a little more study. Envision yourself getting back that test with, a B, an A, whatever it is. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Love that. So fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. So when that part of you that wants to go forward hits with that part of you that's playing small and trying to hold you back, the mind that's trying to keep you safe and alive, just remember that. Mind, thank you. You can thank it and say, I understand your fear, but I'm in charge here and I'm choosing this dream and I know I can do this because I can do anything I set my mind to. I truly can. And so you ask your mind to bring you good ideas for how to bring your dream about. And you can say that. Stop, I choose not that, not today, fear. You refocus on your dream and then you take action. And that's the key. Don't keep it in your head. Because nothing, it's not going to go in this physical world. You have to do the action to bring about your results. So today, let's recap. You've learned 3 keys to mastering your results and achieving success. And that's number 1, designing your dream. Number 2, deciding for your dream. And number 3, befriending your fear. And just know this, that you are worthy of your dream and of a life that you love. Oh, and I mentioned in the beginning, I've got 2 gifts for you. I'll get the other one here in a second. Yes, you're going to get to meet Cannoli. I offer a complimentary strategy session, consultation. It's valued at actually more than $250, but it is free for you for attending here today. So you get to claim your free consultation. I actually put the link in the chat as well. There's that. And I would like to ask you, how many of you have had your minds expanded here today? I mean, imagine how much farther you would get by working together in a powerful way, doing this, meeting perhaps on a one-on-one or in a group coaching call, like every week or every couple weeks, and learning more powerful practices. I mean, what we shared here today are just 3 of the overarching steps in the success blueprint, right? There's 10 steps to the success blueprint for how to actually design your life and create and get results that you would truly love. And so I'd love to go into that in more depth, and that's something we can discuss in the free consultation as well. So I'd love to meet with you and talk about that. All right. Now, what I'm going to do right here is stop the share. Oh, no, I want to show you Cannoli. Hold on. Let me bring Cannoli up here. Hold on. Let's see. Speaker. Okay. Oh, 1 second. She's adorable little bunny, but she does shed quite a bit, and she does have claws, and I don't want them to get my jewelry. She is our little pet bunny. She is about 2.5 years old now, and no, sadly, she actually does not know dog talk. She does not bark, but she is very fast. All right. Thank you so much.